Welcome back to Endless Vision TV. This is Ish, your host, and today is my Week 11 preview of the Premier League. Hope you're all doing well. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, but let's get straight into it. This weekend, for some reason, there's not a 12:30 early kickoff. We go straight into the 3 o'clock game, and the first game on the list is Brentford versus Bournemouth, and Brentford has been outstanding at home this season. That's the reason they're able to be up the table a little bit. Their home form is very good at the moment. And Bournemouth, while their attack is all right, their defence is not all there. So they've been a little bit up and down over the season. So I'm going to have to go with the home team on this one. I'll go for a Brentford 2-0 win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Brentford. And Bromo and the guys up front, Whistle and them guys, are going to have 2-0 for Bournemouth. Bournemouth got that guy from Portugal, the Portuguese league, Evelson. He's doing all right. They got Cliver and that, but I still think, even though they got a good win over Man City and they beat Arsenal, I think against the smaller clubs, they seem to struggle. So we'll see how that pans out. But I'm going to go for the home win here, 2-0 to Brentford. Next game on the list is Crystal Palace versus Fulham. And Crystal Palace hasn't had a great start to the season. And Fulham's had a very decent start to the season. So the odds will swing towards Fulham way, but Crystal Palace are at home, and Crystal Palace at home are a decent team. So Fulham took Crystal Palace defender Anderson in the summer, and that's made them a lot more solid in their back line. And even though they lost a lot of players this season, Smith Rowe and all the other side are starting to bed in. Even Jimenez is getting on the score sheet. So my mind telling me to go with a 2-1 Fulham win, but I'm going to go with 1-1. So I'll go with 1-1 Crystal Palace and Fulham, only because Crystal Palace at home, and I think the home advantage might help them get a point in this game. Next game is Wolves versus Southampton, and again, Wolves has had a terrible start to the season, and Southampton's had a terrible start to the season. But Wolves are the more established Premier League team. I think they need help. They need to get some win under the belt just to not make it a nervy end to the season. Then you start getting these wins, and this is a 6 point, and both teams down at the bottom of the table. So I'll go with a Wolves win here, and I'll go for a 2-1. I think Southampton, they're one of the lowest scorers in the league, so I still think they'll get a goal. 2-1. They got some good players like Dibley and all of that, but I don't think they'll have enough for the more established Premier League team. So I'll go for a 2-1 Wolves win, and the 3 o'clock kickoff. Going on to 5:30, one of the big games, Brighton versus Man City. And Brighton came up short last time against Liverpool. They was winning 1-0 for a lot of the game, and they got sucker punched by 2 quick goals from Liverpool, the league leaders, and they suffered a defeat last time out. And Man City, they also suffered a defeat last time out against Bournemouth. Shock defeat for Man City there. And Pep Guardiola, they got battered midweek by Sporting. Ruben Amorim, yeah, that's my win. That's my win. He's the Man United manager. He signed the contract, so we beat Man City 4-1. But to be real, Man City can be looking to bounce back. So, it's a tough game. Brighton, there's no mugs. For me to go and say Man City are definitely going to win, but I think everything was happening. Pep Guardiola, I still think he's the best manager in the league, and I back him to find a formula to get this team back on track. So I'll go for a 2-1 Manchester City win away to Brighton. So we'll have to see how that one pans out. And as I said, the 12:30 kickoff, which was rearranged, it's gone to the 8 o'clock one, and it's the big game of the weekend, or one of the biggest games of the weekend. I won't say the biggest game, is Liverpool, the league leaders, against high-flying Aston Villa. Obviously, Liverpool been on a good run of form quickly, and Aston Villa, they was on a good run of form, even though they lost last week in the Premier League, and also they lost in midweek in the Champions League. So they're on a little bit of a shaky bit. Is the Champions League catching up to them? Maybe. But Liverpool would be very stupid to underestimate this Aston Villa team. I kind of back Watkins to do some damage here. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw at Anfield. I think Aston Villa will get the first goal, and Liverpool will come into it and get the equaliser. And I think the both teams will cancel themselves out after it. I think they're both strong defensively, both strong attackingly. So I don't see too much goals in this one. I'll go for a 1-1, and Liverpool form starts to peter out a little bit. Maybe. We'll wait and see. Going into the Sunday games, Manchester United. Yes, Manchester United. They deserve 2 mentions versus Leicester City. We battered Leicester City 5-2 in the League Cup. But obviously this is the league. Leicester played a lesson team, so they'll learn their lessons from the last defeat. It was a bad defeat, 5-2. Let me repeat that again. But this is Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game as manager before Ruben Amorim comes in. It was a good 2-0 win in midweek against, I think it's PAOK, yeah? That team that Man United played in the Europa League. Ahmad with 2 good goals, but Ahmad looked like he might be injured. I would love to see Ahmad start this game. Hopefully he took himself off just to ensure that he's here for this game, because we need Ahmad. He's the best winger we have. Leicester, they haven't been too bad. They got a draw against Tottenham earlier on in the season. I think the first game in the season, and they nearly got a draw out of Arsenal at Highbury. So that you can't take your eye off them. If you're not on point, they could punish you. Vardy still picking up goals here and there. And they've got a solid team. They did well in the Championship last year to come up, but they've been struggling, which is expected in the Premier League. But I think Man United, they have to win, and I predict to win. I predict a 3-1 win, even though I don't know where the goals are coming from, but I'll go for 3-1 Man United. Hopefully start getting their season on track before Ruben Amorim comes in. But hopefully, like, it's Leicester at home. They can't beat, we must. Anyway, going into the next game, this didn't used to be a big game, but now this is a big game. Nottingham Forest, high-flying Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle United. Newcastle United sold Wood to Nottingham Forest. I think it was for 25 mil or something like that. And Wood has been the second top goal scorer in the league. He's been on fire this season. Nottingham Forest has been on fire this season. Hudson-Odoi, I think Gibbs White got called up to the England squad, so they're high flying. I think they're 5th in the league or 6th. Forgive me if I got that wrong. But Newcastle, they did get a very impressive win against Arsenal last time out, but they're away this time against Nottingham Forest, and I can't see nothing but Nottingham Forest winning this one because they've started better in the season. I'll go for a 2-1 Nottingham Forest winner and Wood to score as well. Wood, honestly, who would have thought? But he was good at Burnley. Didn't quite work out at Newcastle, but he's firing for Nottingham Forest. And Nuno Santos, whatever his name is, the Nottingham Forest manager, he had to get credit because people writ him off. He went Saudi, came back, and do you know what I mean? He seemed like he found a team what works with him, an owner what wants to work with him, and the players are responding to him. So I'll go for a 2-1 Nottingham Forest win. Next game is Tottenham Hotspur versus Ipswich Town. Tottenham got battered by Galatasaray midweek in the Europa League. 3-2. Osimhen battered them, bullied them. But to be fair, Tottenham did play a weakened team, so I think they're coming strong this game. Ipswich, they're going to come out and play. They're not going to change their style of play, which is very detrimental in the Premier League. If you ain't got good players, you might get caught out. But credit to the manager, Kieran McKenna, for sticking to his principles. So Tottenham are in for a game, very technical game. But I think Tottenham have a bit more quality than Ipswich, and Tottenham have goals in them. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Tottenham win here. I think what's his name, Johnson on the right wing. Johnson, sorry, on the right wing. He's very good. Do you know what I mean? Like he's in the purple patch shirt. I don't say he's very good because sometimes it looks woeful. And they got Son back, and like I said, when they have Son, they look like a completely different team. So I'll go for 3-1 Tottenham win here. And the last game, the big game of this weekend, is Chelsea versus Arsenal. And yes, this is a big game for many reasons. Chelsea obviously annoyed that they dropped points against Man United last time out in the Premier League. They won 8-0 in midweek against Farmers in the Conference League. And I heard that their fast food restaurant servers, and, I don't know who they were playing against. I don't know how they won 8-0. And Arsenal, they haven't won in 3 games in the Premier League, and they lost to Inter Milan midweek in the Champions League. So it's not looking good for Arsenal. The pressure's on Arsenal. London derby, Rice, there's question marks over Rice. Odegaard, will he start? So Arsenal are, touch and go. Their players, the team seems to be falling apart. Chelsea obviously got Palmer. They got 2 squads, Chelsea, billionaire bottle job. They got a lot of players. So How would it work? You know, as good as Chelsea has been this season, Arsenal still can't be taken for mugs. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out a win at Stamford Bridge. But do you know what? I'm going to go for a 2-2. I'll go for a 2-2 in this one. I think Chelsea will shock Arsenal, but Arsenal show their resilience and come back. But like I said, Arsenal's up front, it's just non-existent. Havertz is not a striker. Jesus is not a striker. But again, Chelsea's defence is rubbish. So I think that balances itself out. But Palmer on the other end and all them guys and Jackson 5, I think, they will cause problems to Arsenal's defence. Not confident right now. So I see a 2-2 draw. Let me know what you guys think the prediction will be this weekend in the comments. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. This is Ish from Endless Vision TV, and I'm out.